Welcome to Lifestyle Solopreneur, the community for entrepreneurs who put lifestyle first. Join your host, Flavia Barris, as she interviews successful lifestyle solopreneurs and shares ideas to help you find the perfect balance between lifestyle, business, and self. Flavia is an attorney, marketing expert, and founder of several online academies. She's been featured in major media, including BBC World News, The Wall Street Journal, The New York Post, ESPN Television, and more. Join us for this episode of Lifestyle Solopreneur.
Hey, Lifestyle Solopreneurs. Today we get to speak with Guy Severson. He owns Graceful Touch Massage Therapy in Rapid City, South Dakota. Founding that company with his wife, Irene, Guy loves connecting to people's hearts at a personal level by offering professional massage therapy. But prior to this new mission, Guy was a digital marketer who discovered his true passion. Welcome to the show, Guy.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So glad to have you. I love hearing transformation stories because there's a lot of people who feel that whatever their job is, their description, what they do for a living is sort of immutable, and that's their career in this lifetime. That's their field. It's very hard to break out of it and do something different. But I love that you really went 180 degrees because you used to be a digital marketer back in the day. And now you co-own, this family business, Graceful Touch Massage, in your local city, Rapid City, South Dakota. And that is like, for a lot of people, that would be completely opposite fields. So tell us a little bit about your journey and how you got to where you are.
Well, I would join that lot of people, just to let you know, because the last thing in the world I would ever think to do would be being a massage therapist. However, when I was doing digital marketing, the beautiful part of that is, well, you can set your own hour. Of course, the horrible part of that is you can set your own hours. And I was just I would work 16 to 20 hours a day. And I enjoyed it because, you've got to pull up your footrest on your armchair and you're at your office for the rest of the day. So I liked it. Liked what I was doing as I was serving local businesses and whatnot like that. But I had always been saying, if I could just have my own trade, then I could do all of everything that I am doing for someone else, and it would be or for myself instead of someone else, and it would be so much easier. Well, I didn't really have my own trade other than digital marketing, which technically is a trade per se, but it just, there was so many different hats to wear, and I still have lots of hats to wear, but it wasn't fitting right. It wasn't resonating the best with me. Well, we go from that. In order to get most of my clients at that time, I was using a job database, a job board that was available at that time. And it merged with another job board. My job board that I used was like a Cadillac. This other job board was like McDonald's. And I was always shaking my head. Why are we joining a Cadillac with McDonald's? And I went from getting tons of clients to, on their new job board, I would get none. And it hit our finances really hard. Well, along with that, I got one of those cuffs, those gray cuffs you put around your arm and pump up. As a naturopathic vegan, I knew I'd be okay. Well, I came back with numbers that were 265 over 125. That's not a good blood pressure. And I knew at that time something had to change. Otherwise, I'm not going to be around very long because you can't carry those numbers very long. And so we started to look into different options and various different options that were available. One thing that people had always told my wife is, you would be a great massage therapist. And she had never gone in that direction because she has dyslexia. She knew she could not pass the test or the class. And as we're looking at situations and whatnot, we're saying we don't have the finances we need because the job board changed. We don't have the resources we need and whatnot. Why don't you go back to school? Well, the problem is we didn't have any finances because we had spent them all trying to survive as digital marketers. And I also had a health problem going on. We called up the school that is in Hermosa, South Dakota, and they had a class starting in May. Well, where we had been living and had been part of a ministry for like 2 years also told us that we needed to move. Well, we had no money to move. And the month they wanted us to move was May. The class that they were having, they had never had 2 classes in a row. That never had taken place before. But this year, they were starting a class in May. So I told the director that we would be coming. The next day I called him up and I said, there's no way we're going to be coming to your program. We don't have the money for it. Well, the next day we got a call from a friend who understood the situations that had taken place. And they basically offered to pay for Irene's schooling. Now, notice all the way along here, I'm saying Irene, Irene, Irene. It's because it was all focused on her. I had no interest in massage. Well, we called them up and we decided we would come out and go to school for her. They offered a dual program where I would go to school, and I laughed. I am not interested in massage. I'm a soft science person, psychology, communication. That's the type of programs for me. But the deal was so good that we decided to accept. When we arrived on campus, and feel free to ask questions along the way, anywhere along the way if you like. But when we arrived on campus, the science teacher came up to us and said, I'm really concerned about your wife. I asked why. And she said, well, she's got dyslexia. I'm not sure she can pass the class or the tests. And I said, well, you're correct that she has dyslexia, but she's also got purpose. She also has passion. She also has a pursuit. You will have absolutely no problem with my wife. But there is a problem in your class. Given that I hadn't attended his classes yet, how would I know? He turned to me and said, well, then what's the problem in my class? And I said, you're looking at it. Kinesiology,
You're looking at
pathology.
it.
What's that?
You're looking at it.
Yeah, which would be me, exactly. Kinesiology, pathology, physiology, no thank youology. And I was going to be in those classes, and he was going to help me pass those tests in his class, and I wished him good luck at it. I got into anatomy and I fell in love. I never understood previous how beautiful the human body is. Absolutely beautiful. And well, from there, my love for massage was born. At this point, I began to realize there was only one regret I had in this whole process, and that was not doing this much sooner in life. But life is for learning. So we about halfway through, I get a prompting to look for work. I look for work and I find a job where they'll find clients for you, but I'm well aware that they're not going to hire halfway graduated people. But I was prompted to call anyway. I called them and we hit it off really well. And we decided we would work together. Then they asked, well, where's your office? I had no office and I had no money for it. I don't know how things work over there where you're at, but here in Rapid City, there's not a whole lot of offices available for nothing. We went on a chair massage outing after that. Oh, by the way, I decided to go ahead and accept his contract. My wife was just beside herself. And I said, we will have an office in 2 weeks. Well, we went on a chair massage outing where I met up with what I would call the crazy water lady. Now, the crazy water lady wanted to talk about water. I didn't want to talk about water. I wanted to talk about massage. She wanted to talk about water. Well, I came up with a plan. And my plan was to ask her for a business card. I did so, and after that, left me alone. That was my plan until I got home. Well, I'm going through her paperwork and whatnot. Her business card surfaces, and I'm prompted to call her. Well, I give her a call, and guess what the crazy water lady wanted to talk about?
Water.
You are sure. Yes, absolutely. She wanted to talk about water. I didn't want to talk about water. I wanted to talk about my anatomy test. Well, she wanted to talk about water. Then she mentioned that she knew of a couple in Rapid City, South Dakota, who had a water store. I thought, wow, a water store, water, massage. This could be something. We got together and we decided we would do business together. And then to start with, they said, well, we understand your situation financially, and for the first 6 months, you owe no rent unless you start doing really good. We started paying them rent 3 months later. So now we had a foundation of where to begin our massage. During this time, we purchased many things for our business, including business cards. And with those business cards, we went out and gave them around in the local area to chiropractors, to physical therapists, knowing, hey, this is a way to gain clients. We did not receive even one client from that effort.
Wow, surprising.
Yeah, exactly. Well, 8 months later, well, before we go there, there's a test that has to be taken after you get through class. We both got through the 6 months training, and that test is the MBLEX. The MBLEX is a national test that is required in most states, not all, definitely in South Dakota, for you to be a licensed massage therapist. When I went into the test, my wife had gone in first. It's a 2-hour test. When I started looking at the questions, it was like, I don't even recognize anything that I'm looking at. And I was praying, I need help here because I'm not going to pass this on my own. At the end of the test, I go out and I'm looking for a paper that says fail because I knew I had not passed the test. Well, I turn the paper over that's on the front desk looking for that F word. No, not that one. And instead, I find the word pass. And at that point, I had become a licensed massage therapist. I yelped and then I gulped. If I had so much trouble with this test, what about my wife? Well, she was downstairs in the lobby at this point. So I went down to find her. And between the two of us, I'm what's called an emotional male. If one of us is going to cry, it's going to be me. And I'm okay with it. Well, I was looking at my wife and tears were flowing. Were those tears of joy or were those tears of sorrow? I did not know. I went closer and whatnot, and she whispered a word. That word was pass. We were both now licensed massage therapists in Rapid City.
Amazing. Meant to be.
Absolutely. Well, about 8 months in, the people of the water store say, we want to retire and we want you to take over the water store, which would have been perfectly fine if I felt called to take over the water store, which I didn't. And so I asked them, give us 30 days to pray. And the very next week, we get a call from a chiropractic office. We would like you to come and be our massage therapist. To which I answered, I'm sorry, I can't help you. And they responded, wait, what? Why not? Well, because my wife and I are both massage therapists. So you would need to be looking for massage therapists, plural, for us to be interested. To which they responded, well, we have 2 rooms. To which I said, okay, we have a conversation. And we went and met with them, and they said, drop a plan of everything you need in order to move in. And we did that, sent it to them an email, got a response back. Every single point that we had mentioned was 100% no. Well, at that point, it's like, wow, okay, 100% no. We're not going to the chiropractic office. We'll open our own office. Found an office that we thought would be perfect. With a regular massage therapist, they don't have to worry about all these types of things and such or whatnot. But when you own your own business, we've got to take care of these issues. Well, we found an office that was perfect for us. And the landlord said, drop an email of everything you need in order to move in, and we'll just roll that into your rent. To which we did, to which we got the answer back. I was talking basic. Well, we knew we weren't going to be going there then. And I turned to God and I said, look, you brought us to a place I would never live. I would not choose to live in South Dakota. And doing a trade that I would never do. We need a place to practice. We're not staying at the water store. We're not going to the chiropractor, and we're not going to open our own office. We need help. Fix it. Well, he prompted me to send that exact same email that I'd sent 1 week earlier back to him again. People are not going to change their mind in 1 week, but I did exactly that. I sent it back, got a reply back. 1 week later, everything that they had said no to just 1 week earlier was now a yes. We joined the chiropractor for about 2 years, and then the insanity of the pandemic hit, and we decided to go ahead and go out on our own at that point. Today, we are in our own office. We've been here approximately 2 years, and we are the leading massage therapist in Rapid City with more than 400 five-star reviews, according to Google. But it wasn't easy to do this because massage therapy in this area is extremely competitive. We were told by our educators that others before us had tried to do the same thing and failed, and that we should not try and do the same thing because we would only fail too. To which we basically said, watch us. We're going to be the difference. And we've been extremely successful. We are constantly always busy. And it's just been a fun ride to follow along the way. What questions do you have?
So you were a digital marketer prior to this venture. Do you think that being a digital marketer is part of your secret sauce and how you've become one of the leading massage therapy locations in your area?
No, I don't think that it was part of the secret sauce. I know it was part of the secret sauce because it was absolutely without that background, without that footage previous, our educators would have been right. We wouldn't have known what to do or how to do it.
There's a lot of entrepreneurs who want to start brick and mortar, traditional businesses with a location that people can visit. Not everybody is trying to be the next remote, geographically independent nomad on a laptop on the beach somewhere. A lot of people really want to serve their communities and open a location, whether it's a cafe or an art studio or a shop, retail shop, some place that people can visit. And you've done that, and you've done it so well. What advice would you have for somebody that is starting their brick and mortar and they're starting from scratch? They don't yet have a following. They don't yet have clientele, anyone who knows their address. And maybe they don't even have a storefront that has a ton of street visibility with a lot of walk-by traffic. As a digital marketer, what kind of advice would you have for someone venturing out into that world? What should they focus on?
Well, somewhat tongue in cheek, I would say stock up on rice and beans because and get ready to work hard because there's going to be a lot of work involved especially if you happen to be in a competitive market. But realize every single piece of what you do is essential, and online and offline merge together as one line. So Go to the papers. I have a client to this day who comes in weekly and gets a massage because of an article that we had featured in a local newspaper. People may not read newspapers as much as they did before, but I tell you what, I've earned the value of that interview from that one client. Look for ways that you can get out in your community. We gave a lot of different free stuff away. Free chair massage. Well, not everybody's going for massage. So, what is it that you can do? You can give back to your community, kind of a pay it forward process that can help open their eyes and whatnot. Wall Drug is very near where we are. Wall Drug became famous during the move out west of the wagon trains by putting up a sign. That sign read, free water. Might not sound like a big deal, but it was at that time. And the Wall Drug is now a very famous drugstore worldwide.
Amazing. So I have another question that doesn't relate at all to online marketing or even brick and mortar business specifically, but it's another thing that comes up a lot in business. And that is the idea of a family owned business, going into business with a spouse, a sibling, a parent. You've done it successfully. What are some of the sort of downsides of being in business with your family, but also some of the benefits?
Well, that's a great question, in my opinion, because you're going to have moments. You have different thought processes. If you're working together and living together and together 24/7, it might sound like a perfect dream come true. Yeah, sometimes that dream can be a nightmare. The situation is everybody's got different temperaments, different personalities. Learn to communicate, learn to work together so that you can bring the synergy of oneness together from everyone involved. I can't say that every single day that my wife and I just jump for joy to work together. There's times where we very much pull out each other's hair. No, I mean, pull out our own hair, right? But there's other times where the whole synergy is working and whatnot. And we just, okay, if we're getting in one of those anxiety moments, remember where the good part is, move to the good part, and give each other the platform to listen and be able to share their hearts from the exact same process, because no one person has all the right answers. No one person has all the wrong answers either.
Well, Guy, I think your story is inspiring both to people that want to make a career shift because you successfully did that. In some ways you were forced to do it because things weren't going well in digital marketing at that time. So you sort of were up against a wall but you took a risk and you also tried something that was outside of your comfort, the sphere of what you knew and what you thought you were meant to do on this planet, because you were like, I don't know, massage, is that even for me? But I love that you just discovered a passion there because we don't really learn unless we go out there and explore, right? You would have
Right?
never known that you found the human anatomy fascinating and that you would actually grow to love working with people and helping them feel better and helping them with just this very important therapy unless you tried it. And I love that you were adventurous. Your story is amazing. I know there was definitely some sort of magic that happened there with passing those tests, especially, it sounds like for your wife, that was a challenge and she just did it, flying colors, she passed, and you were able to try something new. And that's inspiring, as well as just some great advice that you've given about having a brick and mortar business. Brick and mortar is not dead. You can have a very successful business. People still need to visit. Certain services will never be remote or virtual. I have never heard of somebody going to a chiropractor's office and then afterwards the chiropractor says, why don't you get a massage therapy session on Zoom? That just doesn't work.
Right.
It's not going to do the trick. You're never going to have, dental work over Zoom. I mean, there's certain things where you just truly need that human touch and face to face. And you've done that and you've built such a successful business. How do people get in touch with you? Do you have a website? Where would people go to learn more about your journey, your story, and also if they're local to you to stop on by?
So for the massage part of the situation, it would be gracefultouch.org. We also have a product line of over 50 branded products that are all natural, certified organic, plant-based. And for that, that would be gracefultouchproducts.org. Or out on the socials, my favorite social at this point is Instagram, though I'm on TikTok and Facebook. On Instagram, you can find me at Pain Relief, the number 4, the letter U.
Well, I love, of course, you would have all the socials going because you do believe in digital marketing. It is one of the reasons that you are as successful as you are today. And that's also sort of an instruction, right? For anyone that was waiting for inspiration today, make sure that even if you have a brick and mortar or traditional business, that you are investing time and energy into online digital marketing. Because even though your business is not digital and you are brick and mortar, you still need that digital presence like Guy has done. So
Can
even
I
if
say one thing on that?
of course,
Okay. So if you look at SEO, PPC, social, everything all together, it looks overwhelming. Choose 1 or 2 items and do really well there and then expand forward.
excellent advice. Guy, it's been a pleasure to learn about your story and speak with you. I wish you and your wife, Irene, all the best in all of your ventures. And thank you again for spending time with us today.
You're very welcome, and thank you for the opportunity.
Guess what, lifestyle solopreneurs? If you don't yet have an online business earning you enough passive income to live the life of your dreams, I'd like to suggest you consider trying out Kajabi. Kajabi is an all-in-one solution where you can create and teach online courses, publish a paid newsletter, launch a free or paid podcast, process payments, build one-on-one coaching portals for your clients, and much, much more. I personally use Kajabi to power numerous successful and profitable online businesses. Lifestyle solopreneurs, there's a free trial of Kajabi waiting for you at this link, www.kfreetrial.com. You can try Kajabi for free, no obligation, by going to www.kfreetrial.com. Again, kfreetrial.com, and that K stands for Kajabi. Starting an online business helped me break free from that corporate grind, and I hope it does the same for you. You have nothing to lose and absolutely everything to gain. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Don't forget to subscribe to the show, and see you next time.